Hello everyone, and in today's video I will be taking a look at the upcoming pattern as well as the uh, Valentine's Day storm. A lot of stuff's been thrown around about that, so let's actually dive into it and see what is going to happen with this. So as you can see, we have current conditions around the nation. We have a thunderstorm risk out here in Utah and Nevada. We do have some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there ongoing. We even have a fire weather risk across the southeast because, as you can see, we had a dry line move through here. It's been very dry, actually. According to my weather station currently here in Middle Tennessee, it is 34% humidity, which is extremely low, especially for 51 degrees. It's been very cold. We do have some scattered snow showers here across the northeast region there, and then we across New York and Pennsylvania. And across these areas, we could have the potential for some heavier snow bands, although nothing too intense would be expected. That's all for right now. So look at the day 2 categorical risk. We have a marginal risk of severe weather from Oklahoma back down towards areas like Texas, on this panhandle here in Texas, the southwestern panhandle, up through the northern panhandle here. And if we take a look at the tornado threat, along with that, no tornado threat associated with it. The wind threat, no wind threat associated with it. And then the hail threat, there is only a 5% hail threat associated with this storm. So that's pretty good, I would say. Day 3 outlook, we obviously have a much larger area. We don't get the wind, hail, tornado breakdown, unfortunately, 3 days out, but we do get the marginal risk area. And then as that moves on, I wouldn't be surprised to see another risk of severe weather associated with this storm. As the central states here, we do have the south central states, we do have some severe weather expected over the next few days, and obviously that'll be with that Valentine's Day storm. We have the, the wind and relative humidity. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure that is. I'm trying to find the right one. We do have, this is interesting, but either way, I can't find the right one, so let's move on to the GFS model here. Whoops, don't mean to have that there. So we have the GFS model here, and we do have today's pattern. We have a ridge building over the central states here. And as this low pressure system moves on, the ridge is going to move east with this low pressure system. As we have this southerly flow across the central states, allowing for warmer and moist air to flood the central U.S. here. And as we have this low pressure system developing a quite medium low pressure system to weak low pressure system, although we do have some nice southerly flow associated with this system. I'm going to give a severe weather breakdown in this video, but we do have this system starting to move off to the east, as we have this all these storms and everything moving off with this, and we do have some nice southerly flow in this system. Here you could definitely see the warm front here. Way over top, we have all this warm air surging up ahead of it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a severe weather risk somewhere in here for the to issue tomorrow for the day 3 outlook. We do have this low pressure system is starting to intensify a little bit. We have the warm front going way out ahead, as well as the cold front here. It's kind of a really nice looking system here. We got all this warm air once again. Like I keep saying, all that warm air funneling up into the system there. And then as we keep moving, we do have some nice mountainous snowfall out west. We do have some really, really heavy bands and areas of snowfall. And then we have the GFS liking this system to develop. The moisture kind of breaks the boundary of the Rockies as we have this trough here. And then we have this massive ridge out in the east, all this warm air. And then that low pressure system kind of breaks the boundary in the Rocky Mountains, and it moves over top. And we would have a lot of intense snowfall for the upper Midwest and the northern plains here if this were to occur. and then we wouldn't have any really severe weather with that system. However, this system also breaks the boundary, kind of, it crosses the Rocky Mountains, and we do see a little bit of a trailing storm system here. We have very intense southerly flow across these areas. This would bring very intense warmth, and we kind of do get this system developing as it crosses into Tennessee, and it kind of develops more. I don't know how much that will impact. I don't know how. Well, really, the question is, when will it develop this, or even if it will happen, because it brings a lot of colder air onto the east, and we kind of return to the pattern how we've been seeing it: colder in the east, warmer out west. This is around the 22nd. This is the 77th frame. So, and then that cold air quickly moves out, quickly diminishes any chance for any snowfall, and then we see this system start to develop. We do have a lot of I guess, moisture surging way up north. And then we kind of have this freezing line here up in the upper Midwest here. And then we have the northern plains receiving a good amount of snowfall there. And then at the last frame of the model run, we see something start to develop. And this is really interesting because there's a lot of this southerly flow here. And like I've said time and time again, this can bring some severe weather, especially stronger storms, and especially around this low pressure system where the warm front and the cold front. You can definitely see these pressure tongues here. You can definitely see where the warm front is, and what pressure tongue is like where it's like it goes out like that way. You can see it normally would be like this, but it kind of takes that path, and that's indicative of a warm front up north. You see the pressure tongues following all the way up here, and this would be a very intense warm front, as this would bring lots and lots of moisture far up north into the Ohio Valley, even up into Ohio. And then we have this cold front kind of developing here. We have this some colder air surging in on the backside, although as you can see, it's more of a zonal flow on the back side of it, and then we have a ascending flow on the east side of it. So that would be interesting if that happened. We have the the ECMWF, the European model. I don't know why I just called the full name. I don't know. Nobody ever does that, but anyways, getting on this Valentine's Day system, starting to develop here. And we have like kind of a primary low up here, and a secondary low is what the Euro is showing, and we have all this weather forming out in front of it, the storms, and then we kind of have this secondary low diminishing, and we have the primary low really taking over here, as it has a lot of discrete cells, which if we saw this look, it would be more concerning because it's really discrete in nature. And we have the warm front over top, as you can see, the precipitation shield over top. And then you can see a lot of discrete cells ahead of the line of storms here, and that would be extremely concerning because discrete cells are more favorable for tornadoes and massive hail. And then we see this kind of warm front, cold front kind of take it over here, and we don't really have much else to talk about other than the storms in Florida, and then this snow system up here potentially. The GFS didn't show this, but the Euro shows some maybe light snowfall in the northeast. And then we see this other system taking place. We have a 999 millibar low here, and we have a lot of wintry precipitation to the north of it. A massive snow shield with a little bit of ice mixed in there. So this 999 millibar low, it really intensifies here, and the precipitation shield intensifies, but the low kind of weakens back down to around a 1,000 millibar low pressure system. We do have that, so whoops, I did not mean to do that. And as it moves off, the low pressure system really becomes broad, and the precipitation shield really lets up here. So, and then we do see an interesting thing. We do have a lot of discrete cells forming. So this is more like pop-up thunderstorm activity. not organized. And then we see a low pressure system organize those pop-up storms really. And then we begin to see a little bit of a line form along the boundary between cold and warm air. And you can see they really start to flare up once the southerly flow gets involved here. And we have a lot of activity across the southeast. And as you can see, this would be pretty intense. We'd have severe weather all the way up into northern Dixie Valley, like areas like Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Kentucky at the most, I guess. And then we have severe weather all across the southeast. We would at least have some severe weather if this system were to occur. And then it brings some snow to the northeast. Excuse me. And then it brings some snow to the northeast and then goes offshore. And then we have another little system developing here. This would be strictly to the deep south here, as this would not really go much further north. As you can see, it kind of moves out to sea, and then this secondary system kind of moves in and it kind of brings it along with it. It really gets pretty intense there. 981, 979, and then it moves off the screen, and then we see yet another low pressure system starting to develop here. And then we see all this southerly flow getting involved as well. So really, the south is just storm after storm. So this is the last frame of the model run. We have all this warm air surging north. It's really trying to take over this pattern here. It's really surging north. As you can see, it's really intense flow across the central states. And that's why we get all this storm development, because it's going to be really warm across the southern parts of this warm sector, because as you can see, we do have some wintry precipitation across these areas. But really, in the farther south areas, I would say in these areas, we would have more of a storm potential. And so if we look at the NAM model, this is really the best for forecasting severe weather. Okay, this is the reflectivity. As you can see, it's going to show the Valentine's Day storms start to develop here across areas in Texas here as we look here around the 16th frame here. So let's take a look if I can get upper air 500 millimar. So at the 16th frame here, we're going to go all the way to the 16th frame. As you can see, we have a trough developing across the south central states. We have little short waves embedded in this line, and you can see the axis of the trough is a positive tilt. And this is a positively tilted trough. And we have these little short waves associated with it as well. And these are negatively tilted short waves on the front side of the system. And as we have all these little short waves, these promote storm development. These actually help intensify these storms. And then we have a little bit of a ridge starting to develop over most of the states here. That's going to move out to the east. As you can see, we have this little bit of energy here. And all this energy is going to help to promote storm development. And as this system moves on, you can see it kind of becomes more intense. We see a more organized center of low pressure. You can see where the line of storms is kind of with all this vorticity. And then we still continue to see some short waves in here. Some of these nice little short waves. And those would help to promote storm development out ahead of the warm sector, out ahead of the line of storms in the open warm sector. If everything aligns properly, you can kind of see we got the warm front over top. You can see this really clearly now. And I'm glad I looked at this now, because you can really see it. More of a broad low pressure system starting to move onshore. And we have some short waves in there. But as this low pressure system moves off, we have still this warm front, cold front. We have this little bit of a ridge starting to form over the central states, and really what we keep on seeing is this is what's really going to promote severe weather in the south. We see these atmospheric storms, or these troughs, moving on into the central states, bringing lines of storms. A lot of the severe weather in your wintertime setups is going to, in the southeast and the deep south, is going to be from QLCS, which is just lines of storms. Like we're seeing here, we may see a little bit of supercells develop out ahead of the line, but that won't be too. I would not think that there'd be too many. We'll just have to see, because of everything going on here. If we look at the 700 millibars, this is getting closer to the surface. So we're going to look at our 21 here. This should be close enough. So this is a 16 hour. So closer to the surface, we have a little bit of a 700 millibar low developing here. We have definite short waves here. Definitely have short waves. We keep on moving. You can see this low kind of really intensifies, especially as it gets closer to the Mississippi River. You can see the warm front, cold front, all this southerly flow here. So that's kind of what we're keeping an eye out for. I'm going to go to severe weather. If we're going to go to most unstable Cape. So this is the 12th frame, 16th frame. Okay. As you can tell, we definitely have quite a bit of instability here. We have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram of Cape here. And then this kind of area really intensifies here and deepens over eastern Texas. We have anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram, which is enough for severe storm development and even tornado development. And then we kind of get this warm sector. It's really suppressed far to the south. So I would be surprised if we seen a severe weather risk higher than this area here, or more north than that, I guess. You can see all this unstable air sitting over the Gulf, though. And yeah, on the last frame of the model run, we see all this instability sitting over the southeast. So that's really going to be our main concern, is the areas closest to along the Gulf Coast. I might go live for that. We look at the Weather Prediction Center here today. Some showers across the upper Midwest here. We do have some rain transitioning to some mixed precipitation showers here. And then we have some snowfall across the northeast. And then tomorrow we have a wide area of showers and thunderstorms developing across the southeast and even up into the central plains here. Day 3, we do have an area, a risk for heavy rain / flash flooding here over Arkansas, central Arkansas into northeastern Texas and towards the Memphis area, South Haven area, in Mississippi and Tennessee. So we have a wide area for potential showers and thunderstorms on day 3, which is, I believe that is Saturday. So that's pretty interesting to see. We have the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day. So this is the 18th through the 22nd. You can see the massive ridge out in the east, trough out in the west. We do have all this precipitation, of course, moving across the southern states here, boosting those totals. I don't know why this area is below average, but I would say that these might be closer to average than is depicted here. Climate Prediction Center 8 to 14 days, so obviously the 20th through the 26th. We have this ridge really building out in the central and eastern states, specifically across the Mississippi River Valley here. And then we have that big trough building out west and even expanding east in the most northern areas. And as you can see, we do have all this wetter air here across a lot of the northern and southern United States. Really, the only exceptions to this are the desert Southwest and the southern Florida Peninsula. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video. And if you haven't already, you should check out EpicPen. You can get the pro version for $2 a month, which I recommend, or you can get the free version. But the pro version, you can see all the benefits to it, and then this is what you get with the free version. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.